Hey guys, Sure Midget here. So I got a pretty cool military surplus pistol to do a video on. I just got this container for it. Put some stickers on there, pretty cool. Now this is a CNR product, which basically means Curio and Relic because it is older than, 1968, I believe is the cutoff. It is a TT33 Tokrev. Now this is a Type 54, which means it's a Chinese-made one. There were a bunch of different countries that basically copied the Russians. The Russians have had the TT33 since, well, they had the TT30, and then the 33, I believe, was 1933. So this has been around since before World War II. It's served all across the country. I've even seen these in like Afghanistan. I've seen them actually modify them for full auto, which is just crazy for this cartridge. So first of all, I am going to just go ahead and start with the magazines, might as well. So it did come with one magazine. It's not marked in any way whatsoever, so I'm just going to assume it's a Chinese magazine. It came with the gun. And then I purchased these on eBay, believe it or not. eBay does allow the sale of magazines as long as it's under 10 rounds. For those commie states, the blue states that have mag capacity, for some reason eBay just does it all across the board, even if you live in one of the free states, as they call it. You can still only sell 10-round mags or under. These hold 8 rounds. These two were brand new. They came wrapped in wax paper, and there is a bunch of grease on the inside. There was some on the outside, but I cleaned them up. Obviously not been used. They're a little bit shinier and smoother than the original mag, so it's got some sort of coating on it, maybe Teflon coating. When I purchased these, it did say they were Russian, Soviet, but I wouldn't be surprised if these were US made or something. They didn't come from Russia. I purchased them. The seller on eBay was from the US. So onto the pistol itself. It is shipped with a safety on the trigger. I did change that. It's like a Glock style safety just for importation purposes. It has to have one. Some of the like Yugoslavian, they actually sell these in 9mm Yugoslavian versions, and they have a safety here, but they have to drill a hole. When some of them have it in the slide, kind of complicated safeties, which basically detracts from the originalness of the gun. So this is basically as original to the legit Russian as you're going to get, considering I did change the trigger. The trigger that I used was, again, one of the Soviet Russian parts, as that's how it was advertised. Bought it on eBay. I think it was $35 shipped. It's glossy. It's like the same finish that this is, so it's hard to tell if it's actually a Russian part. It does have a stamp on there. It's like a squiggly line. I don't know. And on the other side, it says G. So I have no idea if it's a legit, Russian part. I'll start with the grip. The grip here, it does have the star grips. They're plastic. They're kind of glossy. Now, apparently it has been refinished in the description. It was refinished. I purchased this from Aim Surplus, which is a great place to go purchase guns from. This is a CNR product, like I said. So what that means is basically it can be shipped straight to your house as long as you have a CNR license, which I do not. But I know people that do, and it's not too hard to get one, supposedly. If I'm not mistaken, I have heard some rumors. I think it's just a basic background check, like you're able to purchase firearms to make sure, you're legally able to, you're not a felon, basically. I did hear somebody else say that your local police department is notified or something like that, but they can't deny you it, I don't think, but they're just notified that you now have a CNR license. If anybody knows the actual facts of that, let me know in the description. I'm not 100% sure. On the lower receiver, it has the lanyard loop there. Now, the magazine well is not flared in any way, so sometimes it is hard to load a mag, especially in the dark. You kind of go fishing for the mag well, but it was designed in the 30s. So for other features, it does have, it's very reminiscent of a 1911. It's basically a Russian version of a 1911, if you will. They definitely were inspired by the design of the 1911. The slide lock is in the same spot. It's right here. Catches. And obviously it will lock back when there's no ammo in the magazine. It's easy to reach. My thumb is, I'd say, average size, and I can reach it without really adjusting my grip in any way. Magazine catch is in the same spot as the 1911. It's just round, and it's only on the one side. The magazines do drop free. Whether or not the slide is open or closed, they still drop, because it's a really nice smooth mag well. Like, even with all the mags, they all drop free, even when the slide's locked and there's no real pressure on the follower. So pretty nice, probably because they're steel. They're made of steel, so they're heavy enough to drop. The hammer is a spur hammer, and it does tuck away up inside when you fire it. See how it's basically vertical, which is an interesting look. That's kind of iconic for the TT33. The sights on here are just basically rudimentary. The interesting thing is this back sight is higher than the front sight, and they look like they're all like that, like on all the pictures, even the Russian versions. That's kind of just the way they're designed. Okay, so I'm going to be shooting 2 mags of the PPU TT33 ammunition. This stuff is their handgun line. It's just FMJ. It's advertised at about 1450 to 1500 feet per second. It seems pretty equivalent to the military surplus that I have that's made in 1965. So first mag here, we're at about 30 yards. It does have markings on the slide, some Chinese markings, which is Chinese for type 54. And then there's a serial number, and the serial number does match the frame and the slide, but the hammer housing is different. To disassemble it, you do have to pull back on this clip, which isn't the easiest thing to do. You can use a cartridge casing and basically lock it in that slot, and then you can use a mag or something to basically push it back. So then it slides off, and then the pin will come out just like a 1911, and the slide will come off. Now again, like I said, this spring will shoot out. You literally have to hold this spring. As soon as you let it go, it just pops out. The frame here is pretty dang cool. See how that hammer part just comes out? These would be really easy guns to service, you know, after, I don't know, 20 years, you just kind of tear this out, throw it away, and put a new one in, maybe. I don't know. Maybe 30 years, something like that. Now, this is the part that does not work on mine. I'm having trigger reset problems. Essentially, what's happening is more times than not, it is shooting twice. So when I pull the trigger, it'll literally do a 2-round burst. For the slide, again, it just has the kind of half spring guide, and then the spring, and there's a plug in the front. There is a bushing in the front. You have to turn it all the way around and pull it out, and then the barrel slides out. Now, we'll talk about the slide here. It actually is marked on the bottom, Chinese Norinco Type 54. It also is imported by R Guns in Carpentersville, Illinois. Cannot hit anything. It's a pretty heavy cartridge, and it's very unpredictable. Half of the time it shoots 2 rounds, half of the time it shoots 1. And it's not pull and release like a binary trigger. It's just pop. Like, there's no way to know. So I bought a whole new hammer housing from Russia. It says it's new on the ad, so we'll see. It actually already made its way to the US. You can see the cuts in the slide up in there, which is pretty cool. That's where the barrel locking system, very similar to a 1911. And that's pretty much it in the top here. You got, obviously, the firing pin and everything in there. Barrel, again, it is not matched in terms of markings. The serial number isn't even matching the hammer housing. So the barrel doesn't match anything on the gun. So the ammo that I purchased is actually PPU made, supposedly, from, oh, what did they say? I think it was Yugoslavia or something. This is corrosive. Now, this stuff was made in 1965 is what it's marked as. This stuff looks brand new. And again, it's marked 1965. I think that's a sealed primer as well. So fantastic quality ammo, in my opinion. Again, it's corrosive. Now, this is a 9mm, and this is the Tokrev. So I'm just kind of showing you side by side. The Tokrev is longer. Now, this is 124 grain. This is 86 grains. 2 more mags of the PPU FMJ. All right, so I got some military surplus. Supposedly this is PPU 1965. Okay, these do have hard primers, so sometimes you get a click, no bang. We'll just ditch that.